be exposed, you know, for the first time to the information that compelled me to go vegan. I was actually, I used to listen to a podcast, I think it was Los Angeles Pagan Information Exchange, but I can't actually remember. And anyway, what happened was that I was listening to the podcast, and the presenters mentioned that they had been to see Earthlings, and they had come out of that, and they were saying, look, everyone needs to see this, and we're looking into veganism now. And obviously I've always been someone who could tell that animals were beings with their own interests, beings with their own personalities, and I could rationalize meat eating in one way, but in another way I think subconsciously I sort of knew that it wasn't completely reflective of my values, essentially. So anyway, me and my partner both, we listened to that and we thought, shit, we've got to check this out. So we went on YouTube, or was it? No, we went on Google Video and we watched Earthlings. And at the end of that, we were just like sort of speechless, I guess. And we had like a frozen lasagna, like the kind that you buy pre-made in the shops, on the counter defrosting, and I threw it in the bin, and we didn't eat that night. So that's like you were going to eat fish and you didn't. And after that, I had a real shock, but I still had that feeling of like dependence on animal products and fears about what would happen to me if I went vegan. So it took a lot of research. I read a book that I actually bought a long time ago, which is called The Pig Who Sang to the Moon, about the emotional life of farm animals, told from like anecdotal accounts from farmers and people who run animal sanctuaries and that kind of stuff. So and there's scientific information in that too. So I read that and I found out more about farmed animals and how essentially they're the same. There's no great separation between a dog or a cat and a cow or a pig or a chicken, or the budgies, budgerigars that I used to keep that I loved. There's no real separation. It's all in here. It's all cultural. So, on to your question. God, I'm going on ages. I've only got 2 minutes to finish answering. A lot of people find themselves in this position. A lot of people end up, there are people who are like chefs, in restaurants, who go vegan, and after they go vegan, they have to keep their job because they have to keep putting their own food on the table. So they're sitting there and they're like pan frying like steaks and pork chops and making desserts from dairy products and eggs and all this kind of stuff, and it's horrible for them. Once you make that change, once the light goes on, unless you're really good at self-deception, it tends to stay on if it really goes on. And what they do is they take the pragmatic action, which is basically, you need a job and you have a right to, you have a need essentially to sustain your own life by bringing enough money in that you can eat. So what I would urge you to do is not to hastily quit. I would urge you to look at finding other work. Look around you, health food stores, vegetarian cafes, all these kinds of places. Start cold canvassing, dropping in your resume, sending out emails, looking at, and you can do this, you can look on the internet for local vegetarian and vegan businesses. Just type in the suburb or the county that you live in and vegan and see what it comes up with. And I'm pretty sure that people who run these kinds of businesses, if they've got the work, they'll probably, you know, be at least willing to look at your resume. So that's what I'd say. I mean, if it really comes down to putting food on the table, you just got to do what you got to do, and keep going, and you will find your way to contribute to the movement. And I've got to go now because it's almost time up. But send me another message if you need me to answer any other questions. And thank you again. Thank you very much. Best of luck, and speak to you again soon.